How's it going, guys? Welcome to another video on my brand new YouTube channel. In case you didn't know, my name is James. With the PlayStation 4 slated to become the third Sony console to reach over 100 million in sales, there is no doubt that this system has been an astronomical success. The PlayStation 4 is a great console that improved upon so many of the PlayStation 3's faults. With that being said, there are things with the PlayStation 4 that Sony can still improve upon with their next generation console. First, let me state that the PS4 user interface is vastly superior to the PS3 interface, but I just feel there are far too many menus. This is a very minor complaint, but I can't tell you how many times I got lost trying to find something within the maze of the PS4 menus. So I guess I would say I want the PS5 interface to be more user-friendly and seamless than the PS4. Now, I know graphics and performance improvements is inevitable, but I want to see more of a leap from PS4 to PS5 than what we saw from PS3 to PS4. I just remember being blown away by the leap from PS2 to PS3, whereas the leap from PS3 to PS4 was an improvement, but I don't think it ever blew me away. From a more technical perspective, I would be happy if the PlayStation 5 could support a native 4K resolution at a solid 60 frames per second. Additionally, I asked for a reduction in load times, as I hope one day loading games will be a thing of the past. When the PlayStation 4 was first announced in early 2013, the thing that caught my eye the most was the redesigned DualShock 4. The prior three DualShocks all had the same design with a small overall size, grips, and similar triggers. The controllers just felt too small in my hands. So with the longer grips and more ergonomic triggers, I felt Sony finally had a controller that could rival Xbox and Nintendo controllers. And I'm happy to report the DualShock 4 is an improvement from its previous entries. However, there are two parts of this controller that I hope Sony scraps for the DualShock 5. One being the touchpad, because it's hardly ever used by developers in their games. The second thing is something I doubt Sony will scrap because of its importance to connecting with virtual reality. That being said, the light bar needs to go. It can be a distraction at times. Also, the DualShock 4's battery life does not last as long as the DualShock 3. And that light pad is the culprit behind this reduction. I think it would be the friendly consumer choice if Sony released two SKUs of the DualShock 5. One with a light pad and a cheaper one without the light pad to accommodate gamers who are not playing virtual reality games. One last thing I want to see out of the DualShock 5 is improvements in the durability of the analog sticks and trigger buttons. I don't know what it is, but on both the DualShock 3 and 4, I had torn the rubber off the sticks and jammed the triggers on multiple occasions. When I'm spending $50 to $60 on a controller, I expect it to last for years. My first DualShock 4 didn't even last 2 years, and overall this console generation I've gone through 4 controllers. Please Sony, I ask you that you make an affordable James-proof controller. Now, this next feature is probably the most requested amongst gamers. I want every PlayStation game on disc or digital download ever to be accessible on the PlayStation 5. There are still so many games from the past that I want to play, but don't have access to without a PS1, 2, or 3. I would happily spend an additional $100 on a console if it meant I would have access to tens of thousands of games from day one. You know, I highly doubt this request will be granted because Sony's answer for backwards compatibility seems to be PlayStation Now. However, if Sony can add every game to PlayStation Now from all previous consoles and give me the ability to download, then I'll consider it as a good alternative investment if it's at the right price. At the very least, Sony, make the PlayStation 5 compatible with all PlayStation 4 games. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you could leave a like. If you are interested in watching future live video game playthroughs, discussions, reviews, countdowns, and more from me, I welcome you to subscribe and hit the bell icon.